The history of NATO: founding, Cold War, decline, and renewed purpose. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, is one of the most enduring and significant military alliances in modern history. Established in the aftermath of World War II, NATO has played a central role in shaping global security dynamics. Its history is deeply intertwined with the Cold War, the post-Cold War era, and the evolving challenges of the 21st century. This essay explores NATO's founding, its role during the Cold War, its decline after the Soviet Union's collapse, its renewed purpose in the face of new threats, and its potential future, particularly in the context of its reliance on the United States. Now, before we move on, please help a small channel grow. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, good or bad, leave them below. Back to the story. The founding of NATO, 1949. NATO was established on April 4, 1949, with the signing of the North Atlantic Treaty in Washington, D.C. The alliance was created in response to the growing threat posed by the Soviet Union and the spread of communism in Europe. The devastation of World War II had left Europe economically and militarily weakened, and the rise of the Soviet Union as a superpower created a sense of vulnerability among Western European nations. The primary reason for NATO's founding was collective defense. The treaty's cornerstone was Article 5, which states that an armed attack against one member is considered an attack against all members, obliging them to respond collectively. This principle of collective security was designed to deter Soviet aggression and ensure the stability of Western Europe. The original members of NATO included the United States, Canada, and 10 Western European nations: Belgium, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and the United Kingdom. The inclusion of the United States was particularly significant, as it marked a departure from the country's traditional isolationist foreign policy and signaled its commitment to defending Europe against Soviet expansion. NATO during the Cold War. During the Cold War, NATO served as the cornerstone of Western defense strategy. The alliance's primary purpose was to counter the Soviet-led Warsaw Pact, established in 1955, which included the Soviet Union and its Eastern European satellite states. NATO's presence ensured that Western Europe remained under the protection of the United States' nuclear umbrella, deterring Soviet aggression. The Cold War was characterized by a tense standoff between NATO and the Warsaw Pact, with both sides amassing large arsenals of conventional and nuclear weapons. NATO's strategy of containment aimed to prevent the spread of communism and maintain the balance of power in Europe. The alliance also played a key role in integrating West Germany into the Western defense system, culminating in its admission to NATO in 1955. Throughout the Cold War, NATO faced several crises that tested its unity and resolve. These included the Berlin blockade, 1948–1949, the Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962, and the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, 1979. Despite these challenges, NATO remained a cohesive and effective alliance, largely due to the leadership and military might of the United States. Decline after the Cold War. The end of the Cold War in 1991, marked by the dissolution of the Soviet Union, led to a period of uncertainty for NATO. With its primary adversary gone, many questioned the alliance's relevance. Critics argued that NATO had achieved its purpose and should be disbanded. However, instead of dissolving, NATO adapted to the new geopolitical landscape. During the 1990s, NATO expanded its membership to include former Warsaw Pact countries, such as Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, signaling its commitment to promoting democracy and stability in Eastern Europe. The alliance also took on new roles, including peacekeeping missions in the Balkans, such as in Bosnia and Herzegovina, 1995, and Kosovo, 1999. These missions demonstrated NATO's ability to address conflicts beyond its original mandate. However, the post-Cold War period also saw a decline in NATO's perceived importance. The United States, as the dominant power within the alliance, began to shift its focus toward other regions, such as the Middle East and Asia. European NATO members, meanwhile, reduced their defense spending, leading to concerns about burden sharing and the alliance's overall effectiveness. Renewed purpose in the 21st century. The 21st century has seen NATO rediscover its purpose in response to new security challenges. The September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks on the United States marked a turning point for the alliance. For the first time in its history, NATO invoked Article 5, declaring the attacks an act of war against all member states. This led to NATO's involvement in Afghanistan, where it led the International Security Assistance Force, ISAF, from 2003 to 2014. In addition to counter-terrorism, NATO has had to contend with a resurgent Russia. Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and its ongoing aggression in eastern Ukraine have reignited fears of territorial expansion and destabilization in Europe. In response, NATO has strengthened its presence in Eastern Europe, deploying multinational battle groups in the Baltic states and Poland. The alliance has also increased its defense spending targets, urging members to allocate at least 2% of their GDP to defense. NATO has also expanded its focus to include emerging threats such as cyberattacks, hybrid warfare, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. The alliance has established new institutions, such as the NATO Cyber Operations Center, to address these challenges. The future of NATO: can it survive without America? The future of NATO is closely tied to the role of the United States, which has been the alliance's leading military and financial contributor since its inception. However, the election of Donald Trump as US President in 2016 raised questions about America's commitment to NATO. Trump repeatedly criticized European members for not meeting their defense spending obligations and even suggested that the United States might withdraw from the alliance. While the Biden administration has reaffirmed America's commitment to NATO, the possibility of a future US withdrawal cannot be entirely dismissed. If the United States were to leave NATO, the alliance would face significant challenges. European members would need to substantially increase their defense capabilities to compensate for the loss of American military power. This would require greater political will and financial investment, which have been lacking in recent decades. However, NATO's survival without the United States is not impossible. The alliance has a strong institutional framework and a history of adaptation. European members, particularly France and Germany, have taken steps toward greater defense cooperation through initiatives such as the European Defense Fund and Permanent Structured Cooperation, PESCO. These efforts could form the basis of a more self-reliant European defense architecture within or alongside NATO. Moreover, NATO's relevance extends beyond its military capabilities. The alliance serves as a forum for transatlantic dialogue and cooperation, fostering shared values of democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Even without the United States, NATO could continue to play a vital role in promoting stability and security in Europe and beyond. Conclusion: NATO's history is a testament to its resilience and adaptability. Founded to counter the Soviet threat during the Cold War, the alliance has evolved to address new challenges in the post-Cold War era and the 21st century. While the end of the Cold War led to a period of decline, NATO has found renewed purpose in countering terrorism, deterring Russian aggression, and addressing emerging threats. The future of NATO will depend on its ability to maintain unity and adapt to changing geopolitical realities. The role of the United States remains crucial, but European members must take greater responsibility for their defense to ensure the alliance's long-term viability. Whether or not NATO can survive without America is uncertain, but its enduring legacy as a pillar of transatlantic security suggests that it will continue to play a vital role in global affairs for years to come. Please like and subscribe.